Does anybody know why the Colosseum in Rome was built? It was built to end a period of chaos. And when I say chaos, I mean there was the beginnings, there was the rumblings of social unrest. The people of Rome were beginning to understand that the oppression that was placed upon them wasn't fair, wasn't just, and you started seeing them demand more. That a mob mentality, as they called it, was starting to form against the empire. And the empire wanted to erase that legacy. They wanted to eradicate it from the average person's mindset. So what did they do? They built the Colosseum. They built this architectural wonder. And in it, they placed all of the fear, all of the frustration, all of the violence that the average person felt. And they pushed it on to the gladiator versus the beast versus the slave. And then they pitted them against one another while the audience cheered, while they clamored for more, while they chose sides and allowed all of that was inside of them that should have been directed against the empire to be directed onto that front stage. And the emperor did this purposefully as a show of benevolence, of legacy, right? Of his generosity, and to also show that he is that superior to offer them something so incredibly great. But make no mistake, it wasn't to erase the legacy. It wasn't to eradicate oppression. It wasn't to change the government. It was meant to distract. It was meant to convince you that this was the thing you should be focused on, because when they created the Colosseum and they allowed all of the masses to come in, they also ensured this. It was going to solidify the class system. It was going to make sure that average Romans were going to be pitted against one another so they could not form any sort of mass ability to reflect on the government. So they sat the elite and the emperor close to the stage. And the further up you went, the Colosseum, the poor, women, slaves, the less you mattered. Your physical position in the Colosseum actually solidified the divide and conquer mentality that every empire has ever had. They put violence in the ring. They put you in your seat wherever they thought you belonged, and then they watched it all unfold. Now I want you to remember that. I want you to remember that. When an MMA ring is built and placed on the White House lawn, I want you to